And we're on, we're live. It says you are live. Yay! Hello, everybody. It's that time again. You never know when, but it's that time again. We're here on August 28th, 2025 with our resident astrologer, Kathy Biehl. I am psychic Annette Dion, and this is Kathy. Kathy provides us with daily astrology forecasts for my series. It's called Off the Ledge every single day. Thank you for that, Kathy. It makes a difference. And interestingly enough, it's always like I start by talking about something, and then when I go to your astrology forecast, which I don't listen to ahead of time, it's always like right in line.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's interesting. I must be psychic. How are things going in you're in New Jersey, right?
It's a gorgeous, quiet day.
Is it as windy as it is here?
It's pretty windy.
Yeah, we have a lot of wind in the Northeast. You're more inland though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the weather is very strange. As far as the news goes, do you ever feel like that you are on a timeline that you didn't plan for? It's like, wait. Last year at this time, we thought, things would be different by now. But I think that they will be different. I think it's just been delayed. I feel like we're in this big mistake. I think we're living in a big mistake.
Doesn't it seem that way?
Is there anything astrological that might make us feel like we're in the wrong reality?
The nodes, the north node of the moon being in Pisces, which is where am I? Very illusory. And I would say that the lunar eclipse on the 7th in the middle of Pisces could dispel or make a lot of people aware of the illusion that they've been surrounded by.
It seems to be getting more intense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's what's really obvious is when Dumpy, who I can't even look at anymore, when he's creating, like, there's one thing going on, but it's like he's jumped timelines or something. It's like he's back in the 1930s, but he starts talking about this whole reality that isn't happening. It's not like we don't have high crime. There's no emergency, and we know why he's doing that. But I think it's so strange that a human would say all these things are happening and then mobilize all this intense energy in the form of the military and everything, and still speak as if what's right in front of your eyes is not right in front of your eyes, and the data being the data right in front of everything that's right. Obviously, you can point to it. This is what's going on. He's still talking about his alternative reality, and I don't know if you're looking at his chart today. That's kind of like a mainstay every show. Do you have it?
Well, what I'll tell you is there is, trying to translate this into normal talk. There is a stressor going on in his chart, has been for weeks, and it kind of comes to a head on the lunar eclipse, which is the 7th, but it's going to take a while to play out. But he's got a stressor that is amping up things involving his health, his agreements with allies, open enemies going after him, issues about foreign involvements, and it's going to get bigger and bigger in September, moving toward, there's just exposure coming. Next week is a gauntlet of real clear data coming out. People are going to be forced to act on, forced to deal with, and there's a major event on September 3rd. Does that date jump out at you? That's the date that Epstein victims are supposed to testify before Congress, and there is an aspect called a finger of God, or a yod, that is pointing right at the communication planet in Virgo, which is all about the details, all about analyzing, all about fixing it. And it's immediately followed by massive fighter energy. Like, what are we going to do about this?
Huh.
Right before we went on, I learned that the House Oversight Committee has subpoenaed Epstein's estate for a whole bunch of documents, including his will. So there's something going on here. But what I'll say, going back to the person you asked about, is there is a sensation of inescapability to what he's undergoing. So he can try to maneuver here, try to maneuver there, but he's basically stuck.
Yeah, it's on all fronts too. I mean, with his
Mm-hmm.
health too.
Mm-hmm.
He talk about feeling like you're trapped. If you have the onset of dementia and failing health overall, even if you get a little cold or something, you feel like, oh my gosh, I've lost control, right? I mean, if there's an imbalance in the body, there's a sense of not being in control, right? So he's not in control of his cankles or his low energy and his being in balance. I see his balance is off. He's not in control of his physical self, and he's not in control of his mental faculties clearly, and he's not in control of all this that's coming at him, although he pretends to be. He's acting as if he's in control, but it's not even coming off that way.
No.
So the
He's making less and less sense. I said this on another channel. It's really amounting to elder abuse at this point.
Yeah, we've talked about that. It is. Can you imagine having a loved one who's elderly, who's in a position where they're running a huge, I mean, not even a country, just a company. Can you imagine just okay, and all the people in that company that would suffer because you're pretending he's okay and you keep sending him to work? You know about Fred Trump, what they did with him towards the end. You've heard they were bringing papers and shuffle them around and make him feel like he was working just to kind of keep him entertained. But he wasn't really working, but his mind was so far gone he didn't really know he wasn't working. So it feels similar.
There's a theory that that's part of why the Rose Garden was paved over and all those umbrellas have been brought up from Mar-a-Lago, so it'll look like a familiar environment to him. I don't know.
Oh, where's my pendulum? I'll find it. I had to change tables because here it is. Hang on. Quick note, I posted I told you this earlier. I posted my song, We Won't Be Backing Now, which is about January 6th. Just on a whim. I think I did it kind of by accident. I posted it on Facebook today. I get this notice from Facebook that I violated something, and that and they took it down, and they wouldn't really say why. I didn't see what I violated. And then my big iPad that I always use, this is my smaller one, crashed. It completely crashed. It's not usable. So I'm on I've had to rearrange things. I'm at a smaller table, but I thought that was a really weird thing.
Well, there's a really weird aspect today, so that makes sense.
Oh, really?
And Facebook looks at things through AI, so it isn't that somebody reported you necessarily. It's that something saw something and it just ran it through an algorithm and went, oops.
They didn't have to crash my iPad. I don't think it's usable anymore. I think it just died.
Well, that might be unconnected. I don't know.
So anyway, let's ask if he's if he thinks the paved over Rose Garden, they have a paved over patio in Mar-a-Lago, I guess.
It's supposed to look like the patio outdoors. I don't know, but all these different umbrellas have been brought up. You'd think there'd be a patio for umbrellas.
Was that that's strongly a yes. That's why they did that. So suffice it to say, they're doing the same thing that the Trump family did with Fred.
And meanwhile, various other people are running everything.
Yeah, what's your take on who's running things? I mean, everybody says Stephen Miller's running the whole show, but I don't feel like that's true.
Well, he's running a significant part of it, and I'm not sure who else. I don't think it's Vance, because Vance has gone too much.
Yeah, but people are saying that Stephen Miller is in charge of everything, and I don't think that that's true. And JD, JD is like an empty shell to me. Do you have his chart?
I haven't looked at it in a long time.
Oh, okay, no worries. I didn't ask you for it before. He feels like an empty shell that's just he just like regurgitates whatever someone tells him to say, like Dumpy. That's a matter of fact.
Oh no, I think Dumpy thinks of a lot of his nonsense. Let's see.
Thank you for being here, everybody. Please hit the thumbs up. So weird.
Not a lot of active stuff that I can immediately see going on in Vance's chart.
So you don't see a big shift around October, November?
Well, when might that be? Yeah, early October. Maybe.
Oh, you do see a shift because I know that so many people are afraid. It's obvious that Dumpy's health is failing, and I don't think he has much longer, but it's really clearly obvious, and I feel JD chomping at the bit to get in that seat.
Yeah, and the line of succession certainly is. Oh, wait a minute, when would that be? He's having his Mars return in October, but an important date would be around the 7th or 8th. 7th, a lot of people have said the 7th of various months. And you and I both, I believed in the tooth fairy. I believed in Santa Claus until I was in 4th or 5th grade. I don't see Vance getting in. I know that he's in the line of succession. I know it makes sense, but it's not just that MAGA hates him. It's that when the collapse starts, it's going to be more than just those files bringing people down. I doubt he's in those files, but Teal had a connection with who, with Epstein. They had finances intertwined somehow. One of them invested in the other. I'm not sure which way it went. And there is a big aspect right around the 23rd of September. Does that date ring a bell for anyone? Right after the solar eclipse, that pretty much demand dealing with something having to do with circumstances around the election and around January 5th.
Yeah. Around January 5th. January 5th?
Yeah, 5th. That's when the certification was this year. So right before this year it was the 5th. It was the 5th.
Oh, so that's when Kamala's book tour begins. And you've seen her chart recently,
right? And the eclipse is going to reset. It's going to end a cycle for her. It's going to end a cycle for a bunch of people. But it really, really whammies old guy. It really whammies his health. I said in March that the eclipses then and one other thing that happened were setting off a wrecking ball. And I meant the wrecking ball for him turned into a personal wrecking ball. But some stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if there were things we haven't been told about his health that started to go really haywire then. At the beginning of September, we're going to have our attention brought back to things from March, again, with Saturn moving back into the sign of Pisces. And the eclipse is going to really, really mess with both his health and his career and his public standing and his place out in the world. It's everything. It's the whole... I had a secretary who used to screw up aphorisms, and she would talk about the whole bottle of wax. So the whole bottle of wax is going to get messed up.
Yeah, right. Do you ever feel like, oh, but we said this last year. Oh, but we said this in 2022. Do you ever feel like that?
There have been many, 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 many astrological openings for the situation to have been taken out and resolved. And all I can say is things happened all of those moments, because this isn't just a single and it's gone. It's been a sequence of things happening, and we're watching increasingly desperate actions to consolidate or cling or create as much power as possible. And I can't help but wonder if the plans to move National Guard into so many red states isn't maybe to deal with when MAGA is very unhappy.
Wait. The National Guard is being sent to blue ones, right?
No. Well, it's being sent to blue cities, but he's sending forces into like 15 or 17 red states that ring the center of the country. And people have been trying to figure out, what is this about? Is it to control the internet highway system? I think there may be a piece here of controlling people who get really upset and who are the ones with the guns in this country.
So somehow I missed this. I know the National
Guard.
I
swear I sent you this map. I swear I sent you this map. There is a map of it's Texas. I mean, shunk. It's this huge weird donut across the US.
You sent me a text?
I thought so. Maybe I didn't.
I'm not seeing that, but okay, maybe you did. So all right, just to recap for everybody. So what we're seeing is, like, we've been doing these shows, Spirit Talk podcasts, for like 3 years, maybe more than 3 years now. And so all of our viewers who have been following us, and thank you for following us, have noted, I'm sure we all noticed, that there are certain points where we've gone, this is it. But I think we can kind of clarify that and say, yeah, it was it, and it was a piece of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a piece of it. So we get really impatient, and we don't know why things happen on certain timelines that they do. But it is happening. Now, the part about him sending the National Guard to red states or the Army or the military?
No, National Guard to red states. Mm-hmm.
So how big is the National Guard? I mean,
I don't know. I do not know. And I don't know. I mean, 2000, it's weird, and it's to create I don't know. He is sending him into Chicago. All right. So they are going into Chicago.
Have they already gone?
There's talk about where they're going to be bivouacked north of the city in some kind of, they want to be in military housing north of Lake. What is the lake in Chicago? There's a lake. Anyway, north of the lake.
Lake Michigan is in Chicago.
Lake Michigan. Okay.
All right. So these sound like psychic questions.
I know.
Do you have a psychic question about that?
Well, it as rationale, maybe just to have this show of strength. But I think there is a piece of it to be in place if MAGA gets upset. I mean, the fact that all this stuff is happening like this.
Why would MAGA get upset?
All
right, what's your guess?
Why would if stuff comes out in hospital?
What, Epstein?
And they try to put Vance in. I think MAGA wants Vance.
All right. So let's ask: is he doing this because he fears a MAGA uprising? Yeah, you're right. Okay, so he fears a uprising. Is it because of the Epstein files? No. Okay. Is it because of, what else could it be?
Well, his doctors tell him, ... They say I'm not well. Is it because he's afraid of Vance taking over? Or his own health? Something happening with his health?
But why would you send the military to red states because of something to do with his health?
Because they're going to be upset? I don't know.
No, it's not something to do with his health. I'll have to do a little deep dive into that.
Mm-hmm.
Military in red states leading up to, is it leading up to something? When, do you know? I'm sorry, I'm questioning.
I don't know if it's already starting. It is. I don't know what the plan is. Is he to invade blue states from red? I don't know. There's a for you.
Well, let's ask that. Is it so they can invade blue states from red states? No, it does. Maybe he doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, why don't you ask?
All right.
Is there a coherent reason for his doing this?
Is there a coherent reason for his doing? It's kind of like not really. No. Mm-hmm. And that's what I see going on. Is there's no real logic to it. It makes him feel powerful that he can call the National Guard to go to DC. It makes him feel powerful to send the National Guard to Chicago, to places where he hates the governors because they're pro-democracy. And well, is it just for his own? I feel like it's for his own satisfaction, because it's cathartic for him. That's a really strong yes. I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to the sending the military everywhere. Someone's asking, will the Guard finally say enough and not go? I think they can. Right?
Yeah.
I know you're a lawyer, but you might not know that kind of law.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, because he can. That's what I'm saying, Rose. Because he can. Yeah. And it's a distraction, right?
Mm-hmm. That might be the real reason.
That's what my pendulum is saying. That's the real reason, really strongly. Because look at what a ruckus it causes. It takes all the news is going to that. Right? And then what is it? Well, my theory about showing footage of the National Guard, first of all, rolling out the red carpet for Putin on their knees, and then showing video of them picking up trash because there's nothing to do. I think that's for Putin. Don't you? They're probably showing it all over Russian television.
That's very possible. I mean, I have a long-standing, my default is that's who anything benefits. But there's a report of him going off in some fundraising meeting saying that he told Putin he was going to bomb Moscow, and that's why all of his staff was so ashen-faced.
When was that?
When Putin was, when there was that meeting in Alaska with whoever that was, I think it was Axios, somebody was reporting that in fundraising meetings, Trump is claiming that he told Putin he was going to bomb Moscow, and that's why his staff looked like they were so horrified when they came out.
All right. It's a pendulum day. Let's see. Is that what it was? Is that why they were so ashen? Not really.
Okay. It's because he showed him what he has. They showed him what he has from the files and said,
was it because Putin showed Dumpy what he has on him? Not really. We're asking why everyone looked ashen coming out of the meeting between Trump and Putin.
Because Putin demanded something of Trump that shocked his staff.
That's what I thought initially. Did Putin ask something? Yeah, I think that it was that he wanted Alaska. Was it? Yeah. I got that. I felt that all along. That he was just going to say, I want Alaska. I mean, that's what Putin does, right? I think I want Crimea. Okay, let's take that. I want Ukraine, and he wants Poland, and he wants the world. So I think that's what they heard. And that would certainly make them go, what, they're in the cult, but there's certain things about cult mind that if you say something shocking enough, that's actually the only thing that gets people out of cults, is something that's really abrupt and just kind of uproots everything. So I think that's it. I don't know if you've looked at Putin's chart recently or if you even can have an accurate chart of him because it's so secretive.
Hang on. And then there's somebody I want to talk about that's none of these people.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll just roll with it.
Hold on.
Make sure you all hit the thumbs up.
Okay, so looking at the chart that is commonly used for Putin, A planet we don't often talk about because other things get so much notice is Jupiter. Jupiter expands everything it touches. It just amplifies it. I say he's the guy that ups the ante of any action he gets near.
You think that it would always be talked about is so because it's the biggest planet, right?
You would, but anyway, Jupiter is doing a couple of really important things in Putin's chart. And the first one is at the very beginning of September. No, actually, right now, it's in a pressuring relationship with his Saturn. Now, he has Saturn in Libra in the part of his chart that deals with really hidden things and also self-undoing. And Saturn in Libra would be governmental control, but it's also like the hidden deals that he makes. And his Saturn in Libra, by the way, is on top of Trump's Jupiter. Jupiter, okay, in his house of money. Very interesting link between the two of them. But Jupiter in the sky in the house of foreign dealings is slamming Putin's Saturn in his hidden house. So this is all of Europe banding together and coming at him and saying, no, you don't. And at the very beginning of September, Jupiter crosses Uranus in his ninth house of foreign dealings, of laws, of legal matters, a variety of people, places, and things that are foreign to where you were born. This happened 12 years ago, so I challenge anybody to look at what happened in Russia or Putin's life 12 years ago. But upshot is there's an unlocking or a surprise, thing that just shifts gear really, really suddenly, very early in September for him.
So wasn't that when Putin invaded Crimea? 12 years.
12 years ago?
I mean, I don't know the exact year.
I don't know. I do not know.
Obama was president. So that he kind of got away with that.
Let's look. When did Russia invade Crimea?
And
February 2014. So that was 11 years ago.
Yeah, he likes to attack in February. I guess that's his month.
Yeah, so this was before then. Whatever.
So Warren saying 2022. He invaded Crimea in 2022. No, that was Ukraine. 2014.
Right. So this is what we're talking about is 2013.
Yeah. So,
or I mean, it might have been early in 20. It might have also been then. So let me look. 2014.
He invaded Crimea when Obama was in office. So 2014. That sounds right. And the Saturn in Libra. See, what I think is that the European countries have a plan.
Yeah, and that would fit. That would fit because of other things that are about to happen in his chart.
Yeah, like dominoes bombing. It's if you watch Jay Smart, he's got a channel where he's covering the war. He's over in Ukraine, and it looks like all the Russian oil refineries and everything, all the places where they have their oil, are all being hit. My mind goes to what that's doing to our environment, but there's only so much I can handle to think about. But their fuel, their oil, their supply of energy is really it's incapacitated, from what he's saying. So I don't see how he can continue this war with any gains whatsoever without Dumpy handing over Alaska. Really. And that's probably what he asked for in Alaska. I mean, I was on pins and needles then because I wondered if Trump would just hand it over. But you can't do that. But, lots of things.
Can't do like 95% of the stuff he's done, and yet he does it.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you're not able to do it because it's against the law or against some kind of procedure process, then that makes he's an addict. He's kind of addicted to that. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, good. Oh, yeah, that would be great. I'm going to do it. That's how he is. So, what do you think might be stopping him from handing over Alaska? I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny. It's just so preposterous.
There's talk of some kind of deal to get access to minerals.
There's talk of it,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not been confirmed, right? To get access to minerals in Alaska?
In Alaska. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, because I know that's the case in Ukraine. Have you heard that there are talks?
No, I have read that was something that came out of it, that there's a discussion about giving Russia access to minerals in Alaska. Now, there are some complications with this because I think minerals in Alaska belong to indigenous tribes or to the residents. There's an unusual situation. But besides, there is an unusual situation involving mineral ownership in Alaska.
An unusual situation involving mineral ownership, meaning that perhaps Russia actually has some kind of a contract that they own part of the mineral?
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, there's a pre-existing unusual situation. For example, in the state of New Jersey, I don't think individual residents have any claim to, I think in most states, individual residents of the state don't have an ownership interest, but I think they do in Alaska. I think it's a very specific, really odd ownership situation. Anyway, we are down a major rabbit hole.
I know, but why should you just ask about it? Because this is really big, actually. I mean, because he could potentially say, okay, you can have the minerals in Alaska, which is a foot in the door. I'm sorry about the motorcycles. Jeez. Did they have some kind of an agreement to hand minerals from Alaska over to? Yeah.
I told you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just saying that it's preposterous that could potentially happen, but that's a foot in the door because Putin wants the Russian Federation of America. That is what he has in his sights and always has. So his only hope for going further and potentially, which it's not going to happen, but in Putin's mind, from my perspective, if he gets those minerals from Alaska and oil from Alaska, he can win that war and totally take over Europe if he wants. I'm not saying that's going to happen. It's just what I feel like is in his mind. And that Saturn in Libra says that something's going to blow up around the relationship between him and Dumpy, you think?
Not necessarily. I think other things are gonna they're gonna have individual, separate but equal problems.
But have you noticed any place? I don't know if you would, but where they might dovetail, they might converge, like where they both get in trouble together.
Oh well, there are ways that they are significantly linked. Yes.
Yeah.
The eclipses are part of it, and resources are and deals, and there was an indication on the date of that meeting of some kind of backroom thing going on.
Yeah.
And also enforcing a prior agreement somehow. So it's, you promised you'd do this, there we go.
I think that's it. I think we hit on it. I think that's what it is. And I've always felt that when Putin falls, Dumpy and all his evil minions fall too.
I don't know which will be first, but I think they will be close.
I think Putin. Yeah, and I think they'll be close too. I think it's like Putin, Trump, like that. But Trump might be off the earthly plane by then, which could happen any day. Anyway, what I did ask you about, switching topics, is I'm still reeling from the shooting yesterday. It takes a while to recover from those things.
Oh, the NRA. I did not look
Yeah,
pulled up. Hold on.
so I asked Kathy if she might take a peek at the chart for the NRA because there was a start date. It started as an organization that was really for gun, responsible gun ownership. I'm not sure when it was birthed, but it's I just and I'm curious too, depending on how much time we have, how much we can go over in an hour. But I'm curious too about the reason that we are where we are, that this nation is in such a mess, is that the Democrats aren't in charge. And we've looked at the Republican Party's chart before too. So the NRA, that's hooked into Russia too. Everything, all roads lead to Russia.
The NRA was founded in 1871. How's that?
Oh wow!
And the thing that two things jump out. Two things jump out at me. And the first is that this eclipse coming up on the 7th hits it very strongly. Now, I said it for noon because it's an organization, and who knows when an organization is actually founded, but I often will use that for an chart, and that puts its moon, which is its emotional core, in the middle of Pisces. So it's suffering. It's suffering.
Okay,
Could be compassion, but it's suffering. That's part of it. And
I felt like they were losing money. Like last year, I think we read on it last year around another shooting, and it seemed like they were just leaking money. Or around Uvalde, I think that time.
Right. Well, I am talking about its core being from the inception, not about anything hitting it at this moment, except that this eclipse is going to bring a lot out, a lot of emotion. This particular shooting, and I hate to say it, maybe more.
Yeah, that's a given now.
So, but at any rate, a lot is going to come to light as a result of this. And I think I said this to you, maybe not. I think I did. I don't think it's a coincidence that the governor of this state spoke out against Trump really violently, and a couple of days later this happened and that this particular shooter has like Russian notations. I mean, there's something very odd about the shooter.
Yeah, he was writing Russian letters. He was writing it. This is what I heard. He was writing in English. We were talking about it last night with Russian letters. And then somebody in the chat last night said he wrote something like "Kill Donald Trump." They saw that too. And so people were wondering about that, and I just got that he was so deranged he didn't even know what he was writing. I don't really think that Tim Walz said anything directly. Did you listen to that speech? I didn't really hear him directly attacking Trump.
I did. He talked cankles. Oh my God.
I didn't listen to the whole thing.
No. It was fiery.
But was it directly personal? But was it like personal? Yep. I'll listen again, but I didn't feel like that was it.
But if you well, I'm just saying that is a something, may play a role, may not play a role. We'll see.
Yeah.
Also,
like Trump was connected to that particular shooting, but when you talk about Butler, that's a different story.
Well, there's a lot of stuff right now going on that will come back around again early next year for possibly restructuring more what happens with this organization.
With the NRA. We're talking about the NRA, everybody. So it's going to stay intact for now. It sounds like not doing great, but.
Well, there are openings to do something about it, but I don't see this climate and this administration doing something about it. But fear not, the opportunity to do something about it comes back around again early next year.
And
in February.
And this upcoming eclipse kind of.
It is going to bring a lot of stuff to light, a lot of things to light. Again, it'll be back in the news. It's been kind of, you haven't been hearing it being talked about much. Well, it'll be talked about.
Well, when I think about the NRA, I wonder really what it's actually there for, because clearly it's not for gun safety. Clearly it has to do with something like making sure everyone wants a gun and has a gun.
Yeah, it's morphed into Second Amendment rights. Yep.
But all I see is money being funneled through it for,
the Scorpio sun. It would fit that would be part of what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's been traced many times, is this money being funneled from Russia once again. That the NRA makes a lot of money from how many guns they're able to just sell all over the United States. I think it will go under eventually.
It was forced to shut down in one state and reconfigure somewhere else. It went bankrupt.
Oh, okay. Well, it needs to really go bankrupt for sure. Do we have Kamala?
Oh, okay. There's still someone else I want to talk about, though.
I know. Go ahead. I'm just throwing.
I know.
There, if you don't have it, then go to.
Oh, I do.
And you're going to see her.
I have tickets to see her on her opening night of her book tour. So this eclipse is going to wash a lot of stuff up about things from the Democratic National Convention. No surprise, she's about to launch a book tour writing about things that happened. Also important to know about her is that she has decided to, there is more and more stuff coming out, more and more stuff coming from her, more and more information. So the book isn't all of it. And when she said on Colbert that the system is broken, it's the tip of the iceberg of the secrets that she has to reveal. And she will be very canny about how she drips this information out. It is not a coincidence that her is launching on the Virgo solar eclipse right after it, because there is a big astrological configuration the night her tour starts. I think her book comes out the 23rd. Maybe that's it. The night before it starts.
I think 23rd is the book release date, and then
release date.
You see the same that day?
No, the next day, but the book release date has a powerful astrological configuration that demands looking at stuff that happened right before the election and also on the day that the votes were certified. So, it's kind of like it can't be avoided. So I think that aspect is big enough that it's talking about a lot more than her book coming out.
I read on it last night at PNN, and I got that she has all the information about how the election was stolen and the whole thing, like what those groups have been doing, all the data, all the information. I feel like she has it all.
It would fit.
And
it would fit that she would have.
I kind of feel like there's a plan to get her into the White House.
Be surprised. And there's something really important about the first eclipse next month. So the eclipse on the 7th is going to end one chapter of her story, clean it out, and launch a new one.
And the new moon in Virgo. Virgo I associate with the feminine, right? Do you? Mother Earth.
Well, there's a lot of people say, yeah, there's a real strong Earth Mother. Let's fix it. Let's clean it up. Let's do healthy things. Yeah.
Kind of thing. And we really need to. I mean, this fascist regime here, they're hell bent on destroying the planet. They want. I think Warren earlier was saying that the Bureau of Land Management has 7,000 acres. Would you say, Warren? they have access. They have jurisdiction over a lot. Warren, what did you say? It was a lot of land. And so this regime is planning to destroy all the national parks and make golf courses on out of some of them.
In honor of
we
that,
can't afford to lose the trees.
I am wearing a
What?
Burning Man t-shirt from the early 90s. Burning Man takes place on BLM land in Nevada. It's right now. So
And you were there.
I was there. So this is my homage to them. Bad day at Black Rock. I wouldn't want to be there right now because it's a mud pit.
No.
But the final thing I want to say about Kamala, and then there is someone else I really, really, really want to talk about. The final thing I'll say about Kamala is this. There is a signature for improvement, for being a change agent to make things better. The charts are born around the time, the mid 60s. And her configuration is exactly in this eclipse. She has not just Uranus, which thinks of different ways of doing it, not just Pluto, which is let's transform it absolutely, but also Venus in Virgo, all close together. Venus being her values are, how can we make this better? And this is also work. We'll work on it. And the I have a business. So this eclipse is going smack over that. And it is also pulling in her Chiron, which is the wound that just keeps coming and coming. She's got Chiron at 14 degrees. So she takes it for a lot of other people's crap always. And she might, and there's something in this eclipse that's going to bring a lot to the surface about what was going on, because that configuration talking about was activated day of the Democratic Convention. And when that's motion,
the eclipse on the 7th?
The eclipse on the 7th. So September is a huge propulsive event for her that flips the story. I mean, there are so many people who look at like, oh, she was a loser. Like, We're going to see all kinds of stuff coming out about what really.
Who says she was a loser?
Because she lost the election.
No way, Jose. No way.
So she will.
Thinking person could see that she did not lose that election.
She is big in the news in September, and it's like a rewriting of her story. Thank God.
Okay, and just to update, Warren reposted it's 7,000 mining claims that the Bureau of Land Management has. So it's conceivable that, just going back to Alaska briefly, that Dumpy could have promised Putin some mining. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so, and it does, what you're saying about Kamala checks out psychically, absolutely. I mean, for me, it's just like, I'm just waiting for it to happen. I don't have any doubt that it's going to happen. Very, very, very minimal doubt. That's only there occasionally because of what happened last November. Because I saw her winning. I felt her winning. It's like, and I always say the evil hides. So two big misses there. And one was that I didn't see, I suspected that they were going to try to steal the election, but I saw her in the White House psychically. The other thing that I missed early on was we were talking about the invasion of Ukraine. I didn't think that Putin would do that back when he did. So my point is that evil tends to hide. So I take my impressions with a grain of salt, because I did not see what we're in right now, which is why I was saying I feel like I've jumped timelines. I'm in the wrong reality. Because in my reality, she's in the White House. In my reality, I see her walking. I see that like a really similar scene to when Obama won the first time. And it was the first time an African American got elected, and people were just going crazy. I totally see her waving at everybody, and that's the reality that I'm in. But evil tends to hide. That's been my experience, and I think we all got thrown for a loop. And I really do feel like we were attacked by a foreign nation, and they took everything. That's really our position, right?
Listen to me argue with you.
I noticed. Yeah, that's why we're friends. We get it.
Okay, there is one
Okay.
other person I want to be sure we look at quickly, and I
Definitely.
usually avoid because he gives me the willies. I want everyone to be aware that there's absolute chaos at the CDC going on right now, the Center for Disease Control. Now, when RFK Jr. was confirmed, he made promises about the vaccine policy not being changed. And then what's happened in the last couple of weeks? All kinds of vaccine policies have been changed. mRNA vaccine research canceled. And more recently, he's really been messing with the access to the COVID vaccine. At first, it was be pulled off the market completely, and now there are limitations on it. Well, the new head of the CDC, Center for Disease Control, has only been there a month.
Yeah,
takes issue with this, and so there's a big kerfuffle over. She was told by RFK Jr., resign or you will be fired. She said, I'm not going away. A lot of her staff resigned because they can't work in this atmosphere. Trump fired her this morning. She still says, I'm not going away. So there's a huge fight going on over there. So I have RFK Jr.'s chart in front of me. Now, what puzzles me about this man is that he started out as an environmental lawyer.
Oh, really?
He started out as a river keeper, and then something shifted. And I don't know what it was. I don't know when it was. I probably should start looking for that.
Wasn't he an addict? Wasn't he addicted?
Oh, he's all kinds of things. I know someone who went home with him.
Really?
In the night, yeah, and just watched drug deals going on. But she didn't do anything with him. But she went home. She went to his apartment. So I mean, I know people have seen it up close and personal. Great. I seem to be like one person away from everybody, and I don't want it. I don't want to be one person away from these people.
Right?
Anyway, so I look at his chart. I mentioned Jupiter earlier. Jupiter is heading right, and for him, we have a timed chart. So Jupiter is in his house of self-undoing and also backroom deals, and it's heading right for his Uranus, which I mentioned with Putin. And in early September, it crosses his, so it's building. We're already feeling it. It's crossing his Uranus and his South Node. So there could be, and the South Node is like what you're moving away from. There could be something that all of the sudden happens with him. This is not a stable time for him. I mean, I'm not sure anything is ever stable for him, but so let's see exactly when that's going to be. Right about in between the eclipses, in the week between the eclipses, Jupiter will cross his Uranus. So he may, and the eclipse that's happening on the 7th is going to slam some stuff in his chart, specifically having to do with his group associations, his friendships, his relationship with Congress.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. RFK Jr. we're talking about.
Right. Yeah. So what do you think might be coming out?
I feel like I just see money changing hands. I just see dark money changing hands.
And but coming out, what's coming out?
It feels like, well, I don't know specifically, but the feeling of it is that he's been paid for being able to not have the American people have any safety. I get that he's being paid for that.
And there are people who are, like Bernie Sanders is calling for an investigation. Whether that does anything or not, I don't know. But the actions that are being taken by the CDC and by RFK's department are actively endangering the lives of millions of Americans.
Yeah, that's the intent. It's like the cruelty is the point. The intent is to make sure we die. Like herd immunity. Like they were going for herd immunity during COVID. We need to have herd immunity.
This is bigger. I think what we're talking about is bigger. If you're saying money changing hands, there is another group that would benefit from this country dissolving into absolute chaos. Who might that be? I can think of two.
Dear Trump, destroy America. Love Putin. It's a title to one of my Substacks. It's probably the most accurate title ever written. Yeah. So yeah, it benefits Putin, and you have another in mind, another country in mind.
We'll have a huge fight if I say it, so I won't.
You'll have a fight with what, YouTube?
Everybody. Let's just say there's a country that has a war criminal as its prime minister who won't leave, and they're committing absolute genocide. So there's that.
And speaking of that, I saw a little clip of a National Guardsman who had a couple social media posts that he had made, not supporting this genocide that's happening. So not supporting that country. And he was, I don't know who called him in, but they said they were investigating him because he's not supporting, why are we speaking in code?
Yeah, we just are. So, and for anybody who wonders, I got to say, I have relatives who live in the country in question, and they are not in favor of the neighborhood right on the other side of the border being killed. All right. So it's not like the citizens of this country want it, but there are power people who do. So and meanwhile, the son-in-law of the person sitting in the White House is having conversations about what they're going to do with this strip of land. Ooh, I said strip. There's your hint. So, one other thing I want to say, though, before we get going is whatever is going on with RFK, there is in early November, there's a sense of, whoa, bunch of stuff really coming back. Well, actually, it starts the beginning of September. There's the hint of, what's been going on here? What's he been doing? There'll be some echoes of all kinds of shenanigans from March. So I don't know what he was up to at that point. But then in late November, then something starts really, really dredging up all kinds of stuff. And what's the foreign involvement? What is the foreign involvement? That issue will start in September, and then it'll ramp up in also the ideological thing, but that'll ramp up in October, and then at the beginning of November, all kinds of things start to break apart for this man. I'm not saying he won't be removed before then. Who knows? But in the beginning of November, all kinds of hurt, all kinds of pain, all kinds of, oh, I really wish I hadn't done that. And it'll be real public. And from January, March, April, it's constant. Oh my God, oh my God. So he will be in the news, and it will not be in a happy, happy way for him.
What they all have in common is that they don't think about any consequences coming to them.
No, they actually have some, imagine this, health consequences coming to himself.
Yeah, well, when you're talking about him, I pick up on that he's doing a lot of drugs.
Really?
And I pick up on that he's just, and it's kind of like self-sabotage. He's just, doing all these drugs, and he's not being careful. He's not covering his bases. He's not covering up his crimes. It just feels like it's really completely careless. And
didn't I mention self-sabotage in my first sentences about him?
Yeah, you did actually. I'm thinking about all the others that are like that. Dumpy, it's actually it kind of makes sense that he would not think about consequences, because he's got something weird, I guess, in his astrology chart that means he doesn't get held accountable for all his numerous crimes. We looked at that before, right?
What I think, and this is there's a through line, there's a commonality in all these people of sort of substance abuse that affects their thinking, because they've got that in the Department of Defense in a huge way.
Yeah.
And seems to be going on in this case. Adderall sniffing and who knows what else.
Yeah.
At this point, it's over whatever is living in the White House right now is pumped full of so many substances just so he can get up and move every single day. Who the hell knows?
You can see it. I don't think you need to be a psychic to be able to see it. I mean, sometimes Dumpy just goes on very often on a blue streak, and it's like blah 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 stream of consciousness. None of it makes any sense, but it sounds like he's on speed because he is.
So here's a psychic question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Timeline for RFK Jr. leaving?
October, if not sooner, but he won't be there longer than October. I feel a big scandal. And the only question that I have about all that is there's so many scandals going on. Who's going to hold these people accountable?
Well, now, won't we have to wait and see?
Yeah, I do feel like there are people behind the scenes that will hold them accountable. But, we don't have time. We'll do another show.
No, but the logical scenario is, so the situation's like a Jenga puzzle, the thing where you pull little things out. So a whole bunch of the tiles in Jenga are going to be pulled out really close together. I'm thinking in September. One piece is a huge piece is the Epstein stuff. A piece is what's going on with health. A piece is, let's just say for argument's sake, treason. A piece is whatever the hell happened in November with things flying in the sky, beaming down and changing algorithms. I think it all starts to happen at once. And that is why so many people are picking up that the usual line of succession does not happen. There are people talking about Couch Boy ending up in the White House. Who knows? He might. I don't think it will happen for very long if he does, but a really large number of people are picking up some kind of weird disturbance. So that could be part of the timing of different cabinet members going.
A weird disturbance, you said?
Yeah, a lot of people are picking up some kind of disturbance that prevents the usual line of succession.
I do not see JD in the White House. I do not. I mean, he's up to no good. I can tell. I can feel it. I can't even. He'll say like 3 words, and I'm like, oh, turn it off. I can't handle how gross his energy is. And I'm not the only one.
Nope, me neither.
Most people cannot stand him. So much information, so little time, and it goes by so fast. You want to don't leave, people, because if you stay till the end and it's just a few minutes, I think we get more, I don't know, higher up on the whatever. So just tell us what you're up to, and then we'll say goodbye for now.
Okay, so my website is empowermentunlimited.net. I have weekly, monthly, new and full moon forecasts there. My YouTube channel is Professional Aquarian, same, and also my political videos are there. And my Patreon is patreon.com/Kathy Biehl. And I will be having a look at the solstice chart. I've got stuff up about the eclipse already. Many different levels. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing right now. I don't have a class or anything going right now, but
is there anything you want to say about personally this eclipse on the 7th, like what we should do? I know it's in Virgo, right?
No, it's in Pisces. It's a lunar eclipse in Pisces.
New moon?
No. The lunar eclipse on the 7th is in Pisces. The new moon's on the equinox.
Okay, so the 7th. Personally,
don't fight anything that wants to leave. That's my if there's anything in your life that
let him go.
Let it go. Let it go. Because eclipses always have people out the door. They end chapters and they have massive revelations. And this one could really show you how your life is enmeshed with other people's. And I would suggest that pretty much everybody that would be watching this is way overly attuned to what's going on in the collective, and you might hit a point of overwhelm and decide, I have to set new boundaries up.
Yeah. I definitely, I need to go to Maine or something. I need to get my head out of this line. Yesterday just pushed me over the edge, honestly, after the shooting. So, all right, well, let's do this sooner rather than later again. because there's so much to look at. And
Always.
everybody, please know that our income, well, mine is dependent on how much business we produce here. And so it's psychicannetteDion.com. And please, thank you for donating and become a member. Did you know this weekend, if you're a member, you get to see the fireworks? Because we have a psychic party. You should come up. There's a schooner festival here. Yeah, join, become a member. And tonight we have our guided meditation for a healed America at 7. It's only a half an hour of your time. So join us for that, 7 p.m. live. And that's all for now. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you. It's always fun. See you later. Thanks for your support, everyone. Namaste. See ya.